Good morning and Jai Hind students. I'm your physics teacher. So today we are going to start the graphical representation of motion. In this motion, in this type of graphs, what we have to do and how do we are able to calculate the different phenomena happens in graph. That is the our topic. Let's first discuss the uses of graph. What are they being used for? First of all, I would like to add few points that what is graph and how they are used. You will study this in your class 9th in chapter number 3 or 4 of mathematics. There you will be studying the graphs of different things, that is what is x-axis and what is y-axis. This pen is not visible. I should take the red one. Okay. Now the graph is a pictorial representation which denote relation between two quantities. Two quantities means one is independent one and another one is dependent one. Pardon. Yeah. Dependent quantities are plotted on x-axis. Independent quantities are plotted on x-axis, that is the horizontal axis, and dependent quantities are plotted on y-axis. So what is x-axis and y-axis? It will be discussed in your maths class. For time being, you just get a concept that on the horizontal axis is known as x-axis and the vertical axis is known as y-axis. In general, we take x-axis as the independent quantity. So independent quantity on x-axis. For example, if we take time as x-axis, as the time is keep going on, as it has own value, that means time cannot be stopped for a person or anything. That is the independent one. So always we take the time on x-axis. This is the whole Cartesian system. जहाँ पर आपको ये समझना है कि आपने एक प्लेन लिया जिसमें आपने दो एक्सिस को ऐसे मीट करा दिया. This will go up to the infinite, this will go up to the minus infinite, this will go up to the plus infinite and this will go up to the minus infinite. तो यहाँ पर होता क्या है? This is known as the first quadrant, this is known as the second quadrant, this is the third quadrant and this one is your fourth quadrant. यहाँ से जब आप this point is known as origin. When you go to the right side from the origin, the value of x is continuously increasing. That means you get a positive number. It is same like as that of a number line. And when you go on to the left side of from the origin, you will get a value of negative x. That is, x will be negative. Similarly, what happens when you move in the vertical axis, that is the y-axis, as I am denoting it, you get a positive value, and if you move into the bottom side of the origin, that y will be negative. So based on this criteria, what I have denoted on this screen is that you have the four Cartesian system, four planes there are. Here in the first quadrant, your both x and y both will be positive. For the second quadrant, x will be negative and y will be positive. For third quadrant, they are considered in the anti-clockwise direction. So this will be the third. Here x is the negative one and y is the also negative one. So this is the only quadrant where you will get x and y both as the negative. And here is the fourth quadrant. Here is the fourth quadrant in which you get x as the positive one, but while moving bottom from the origin, you get y as the negative one. This is the basic concept which one should know to deal with the graph. So what is next? Concept of slope in the graph. This is the again a very important concept. Slope of any graph represents its rate. Rate means variation sorry, with respect to time. If you are varying some quantity with respect to time, that means you are getting its rate. So to calculate the rate, and rate plays a very important role as we have discussed in the theory classes. Theory classes means when we are dealing with the equation of motions. तो आपने वहाँ पर भी रेट निकाला था. Here I have plotted x axis, here is the y axis. You have to place that it is the quadrant of x1, this is the point x2. Corresponding to x1 there is a point on y axis also, it is known as y1, and this is the point y2. So this point will be known as having a coordinate of x1 comma y1. This point will have the coordinate as x2 comma y2. It's a simple concept. In this case, where we have the two coordinates x1 comma y1 and x2 comma y2, if you want to calculate the slope is nothing but the change of x and change of y. It's a ratio of delta y. I am denoting change with the delta sign. Delta y to the delta x is nothing but known as slope of the graph. Also you can understand this by the angle. Suppose this is the x-axis and this is the y-axis. The angle made between x and y-axis, that is theta, it is also called as slope. So considering distance on y-axis and time on the x-axis, to know slope, that is, it's a graph between distance and time, and the slope of this graph will tells you about the magnitude of speed, which is represented by m, where the average speed between 2 points. So again, ax plus by plus c, this is the linear equation which you will study in mathematics. If it is represented like this and I want to make a subject as y, so y will become as minus c. If this equals to 0, you have taken from left hand side to the right hand side, you will take minus c minus ax upon whole p. This is written here. So this can be write in different ways. Here m is the slope of the graph, m is equals to minus a by b, and c is the intercept. That is, this is the graph of linear equation in which we represent how y varies with respect to the x, thus slope is constant every and every time. Suppose you want to calculate at this point of time, sorry, not at this point of, for this value of x and for this value of y, corresponding value, if you want to calculate the slope, this will again give you a theta angle. If I say this is theta 1 and this is theta 2, the slope of the graph will remain constant, which means that angle made between x and y axis will remain as constant. This is the basic knowledge of graph which you should possess with you. This is again, if you want to calculate the slope for different, suppose this is the time and this is the distance. These a, b and c are denoting three different slopes. That means a is making an angle of theta 1 with x-axis, b is making an angle of theta 2 with y-axis, and c is making an angle of theta 3 from the x-axis. These all the three graphs a, b and c will have different slopes, but as we know that theta 3 will be greater than theta 2 will be greater than theta 1. That means slope of graph c is much greater than the slope of graph b, which is greater than slope of graph a. So in the conclusion, what we can say that if the slope of c is much greater than the slope of a, so in the conclusion we say that speed of c is greater than b, which is greater than a. So the highest speed possessed by c उससे छोटा बी, उससे छोटा ए। तो इन तीनों का जो ग्राफ है, इस ग्राफ से मैं देख के ये बता पाऊँगा कि डिस्टेंस और टाइम के बीच में सर ग्राफ है। टाइम इज़ द इंडिपेंडेंट क्वांटिटी, distance is the dependent quantity, and as being c has the highest slope, which means slope of distance time graph gives me the speed। और अगर आपको velocity चाहिए तो सेम आप ग्राफ प्लॉट करेंगे डिस्प्लेसमेंट, सॉरी थोड़ा सा गंदा हो गया, जस्ट रब इट। इफ आई प्लॉट अ ग्राफ बिटवीन displacement and time, so as we know that displacement is a vector quantity, slope of this graph will give me the velocity. This is all about the graphs. In the next video we will talk about the different graphs, different quantities, different variables. What is the slope of velocity time graph will tell, what is the, how do we calculate slope, and practice some numerical question. So I think this is it. Please revise it and solve NCERT exemplar question. Take the online classes. As in the online classes we are talking about the graphical representation of motion. I thought that these two topics, that is the slope and what is graph, the students who are not able to get in the online classes, I think this video will help them. So thank you and Jai Hind.